All right, and we're here for episode 2, Five for Fightin' Hockey. We're going to be following the Bruins versus the Lightning. One of the biggest games coming up. Probably looking at a second round matchup between the two teams. We've got 11:58 left in the second. Bruins up 1-0. A little scrum at the end of the play going into advertisement right now. Really hard-nosed game. I know Stamkos is out. A few other guys are out for the Tampa. Arguably speaking, with them in the lineup, you're talking about having a much better team than the Bruins. I wouldn't say much, but down the roster, you're talking a lot better of a team. So we'll be following that. You may hear some vulgar commentary by myself during the game as we move forward here watching the game. Something I wanted to touch base on from last weekend's play was David Ayres coming in against the, or rather for the Hurricanes, while being the emergency backup goaltender for the Toronto Maple Leafs, like in their home arena, practicing with the Toronto Marlies, their AHL affiliate, and also a Zamboni driver, 42 years old, kidney transplant, I believe, back in 2009. Real feel-good story, absolutely kicked ass, and just to show you it's against Toronto, which is even fucking better. Dude could have easily let up in like 7 goals and had allowed Toronto to win, but dude played his heart out against Carolina, for Carolina against Toronto. So I mean, just a feel-good story. They were talking, the NHL was talking about getting rid of, or rather not getting rid of, but tweaking the e-bug system. And I'm happy they didn't. You probably get one every couple of years. The last one, I believe, was 2 years ago, and it was Scott Foster in Chicago. Another great story. So you're looking at just overall really good story. Dude going on, I think it was like Jimmy Kimmel Live and a bunch of other shit. So going forward, I mean, like the e-bug system is where it is. It works. Another good story I wanted to touch upon from the past week was Boston Bruin is down on the ice right now. Hard to get up. Can't really tell who it is until the screen moves. Still can't really tell. Looked like possibly Coyle blocking a shot in the middle of the ice in the Boston defensive zone. But back to the other story I wanted to touch upon was a guy in Ottawa, Bobby Ryan. He hasn't played in almost a season, dealing with alcohol abuse. And alcohol issues. Dude comes back the other night, I believe it was Tuesday. His first game back in about a year, and he gets a fucking hat trick. So good for him moving forward down the line. He's a player that's always given the Bruins fits over the years, especially in the playoff series a few years ago. Arguably the last season that Toronto was actually relevant. Ottawa was actually relevant. Currently, Tampa's really poured it on the Bruins. Looks like a possible breakaway chance. Penalty coming up. DeBrusk. Yes! Let's go! DeBrusk with the knock. He got tripped on the way into the zone. Backhand to forehand beats Vasilevsky to the, I believe, his glove side. Right shoulder. Nope. Blocker side, right shoulder. Really nice goal. Good to see DeBrusque coming back and really showing what he's capable of. He hasn't had a point in, I think it's like 9 games or something like that. So good for him. It's his 19th goal of the season at 10:06. In the second, so meaning we have about 9 minutes 50 seconds left in the second. Boston currently up 2-0. Again, like I said, looking going forward, you're probably going to see these two teams in the second round of the playoffs. Being the way that that was a board. You fucking serious? Being as the way it holds right now that the Bruins are up 7 points over Tampa in the Eastern Conference, or rather the Atlantic Division. So you're looking to see probably a matchup of Boston and that second wild card spot. The way it looks right now, I believe it is Columbus. I will double check on that. Little scrum after that with Carlo and Andre Paquette. Love to see that fight. Carlo would absolutely fucking rock the shit out of him. Well, NHL somehow fucked that score up on the second goal. They gave it to McAvoy. But, okay. And Tampa's called for an offsides. We'll go back to one of the neutral zone dots. Back to the current playoff standings. Like I said, last time I checked, it was looking like it was going to be Boston and Columbus. Still is. So throughout the league, you're looking at first-round matchups. Boston, Columbus, Tampa, Toronto, Washington, New York Islanders, Philly, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Nashville, Colorado, Dallas, Vegas, Golden Knights, and Vancouver Canucks, and Edmonton and Calgary, which another series is would be arguably one of the most talked about is Oilers Flames. They've had a lot of issues going on during the season. A lot of hard-nosed play going forward. Certainly some of the best actual hockey games I've seen in a long time. Fights. I mean, you just talk about really good play. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by this stupid KFC commercial with fried chicken in between two Krispy Kreme donuts. But like I said, it's going to be certainly interesting going into the playoffs. Apparently, this just in, Matt just texted me saying that our producer Scott wants hot takes from myself. So if he wants hot takes, he's gonna get hot takes. Personally, I would have liked the Bruins to pick up someone higher in the like a better player at the deadline. Obviously didn't happen. But really getting into a real spicy take here. You're looking at honestly some upsets in the playoffs right now. I'm gonna call my rounds right now. Obviously, I have the Bruins over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Honestly, I see Toronto putting an upset against Tampa. I personally don't think Tampa's built for the playoffs. They're a good regular season team. The last few seasons really haven't done much in the playoffs. Obviously, last year getting bounced in the first round against a team, the Columbus Blue Jackets, whom the Bruins whooped in the second round. Or not really whooped, but really ended up dominating by the end of the series. Washington over the Islanders. Honestly, I got to give that to Washington. So as of right now, I have the Bruins and Washington in the second round. At that point, or rather, no, my bad. Yeah, so Washington over the Islanders, and then obviously I have Pittsburgh over the Flyers. That the Flyers are not that good. It just so happens that they're second in the Metropolitan right now, but the Metropolitan's not that great when you break it down. The Metropolitan, as it is Washington, somehow Philly, Pittsburgh, Islanders, Blue Jackets. Hurricanes still have a chance to get in, but not really looking like anything crazy is going to happen. I don't see a Metropolitan team getting into the Stanley Cup Finals. If anything, I see it's probably, well, out of anything, probably you're looking at Washington and or Boston or Tampa from the East. I really don't see any other team. Pittsburgh's been struggling for a while now. They went on a run once Crosby came back, but they've really been struggling as of late. And the Bruins just keep on plugging along. Honestly, I know a lot of people are down on the Bruins for not doing a lot of stuff at the trade deadline, but they're looking like arguably one of the best, easily one of the best teams in the league, just overall. So right now we're just going to go straight into a little bit more commentary here while we're watching the game. Well, I'm watching the game. I don't know if you are. I really don't care if you are. I care if I am. Looks like we're going to get a penalty called. Looks like a hook on Sergachev as DeBrusque was going into the corner with the puck, bringing him down. So Boston's going to go on the power play with 7:06 left in the period. They called it a slash hook, whatever. Really don't care what you're going to call it. It's a penalty. So we'll see if the Bruins can do something on this power play like they did the last. Should be interesting to see what happens. Pass is right up there. Speaking of Pasternak, we'll go into a little MVP talk right now. A lot of people have Draisaitl as their sure, like, no doubt MVP. Personally, I think he's really been carried by McDavid for most of the season. I know McDavid was out for a while. Obviously, Draisaitl didn't let up during that period. He still kept on plugging along. Just in terms of overall dominant play, yeah, Draisaitl certainly has Pasta outmatched on that. But as a real asset to the team and individual effort, and I know I'm biased, I gotta look into Pasta. I do know that Joe Haggerty of NBC Sports Boston Bruins Insider had a great tweet earlier. I'm going to see if I can pull it up regarding the MVP voting and like possible MVP. Bear with me here. It's going to take me a second here, but I don't even know if I'm going to be able to find it, but yeah. Here we go. So that's Joe Haggerty, Boston, in NBC Sports Boston. He's at Hacks with Hags on Twitter. Don't know Instagram or anything like that. But you can find him on NBC Sports Boston. Great articles daily. Real good attempt in front. Vasilevsky comes up with the puck. Right up in front. Gonna go to a short timeout here. But back to Haggerty. He tweeted out 8 hours ago. All due respect to Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, but Pastrnak still has a shot at 60 goals this season and has played like a dominant Hart Trophy candidate all season. He's in the discussion, and he should be in the discussion. I know there was one comment that really stood out to me. Someone goes, "Really not that close, my man." Draisaitl is the clear choice for me at the moment. This is Jeff Gold, whoever the fuck that is. He's at jgold 2004. What is he, a fucking, 15-year-old? Whatever that is. Hags comes back and says it's not clear at all. He racks up points on the power play with McDavid. As I said, McDavid really kind of lifts up Draisaitl, not taking away from Draisaitl. He's an awesome player, really goes forward and puts up points by himself alone if McDavid's having issues. And he continues saying he's a freaking minus player, which I believe Draisaitl actually is. Draisaitl should be a finalist, no doubt, but he's not a runaway Hart at all. So speaking of which, we're going to go ahead and actually look and see the plus minus on that. And actually see what his overall stats are for the season right now. So you're looking at Leon Draisaitl, 66 games played, 43 goals, 64 assists, 107 points. And I believe he was the first to do that with a bunch of guys like Gretzky, Messier, all those guys within a certain period. I think it was before 65 games or something like that to hit over 100 points or something stupid like that. Average time on ice, 22:37. Power play time on ice, 3:57. So, I mean, he gets a shit ton of time on the power play, much like Pastrnak. Yeah, and he is -6, which says a lot, actually. Which means that basically that Edmonton is really not that good of a defensive team if one of their best, arguably their best forward right now is not helping out defensively and is -6 on the season. So with that being said, we're going to hop up to Pastrnak, just doing a little comparison here to catch up if you're randomly just decided to skip through the fucking video. I hope you're not, but nonetheless, just doing a quick comparison on Pastrnak and Leon Draisaitl. Same amount of games played, 66. Pasta, 47 goals, 44 assists, 91 points. Time on ice, 1903. Power play time on ice, 345. So there are Pastrnak has a little bit less power play time on ice. And for that matter, Pasta is a plus 23. So if you really want to break it down to just plus minus, that in my opinion is one of the biggest factors if you're looking at Hart Trophy candidates, looking at their plus minus, because if they have a minus in their stat column, it means that they're not playing that well defense. They could be the fucking greatest hockey player on the planet, and if you have a minus, when you're on the ice, if you have a minus percentage, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that just means you're not playing defense. Pasa, with that being said, he's certainly stepped it up this year with his defensive play on ice. So, I mean, even though Pass has been playing less average time on ice than Draisaitl, it still shows that Pass is at least getting back, and like when his shift is on, when his like line is on the ice, he's producing. I don't know the validity of this. We'll see it in about probably 2 seconds. Looks like the Lightning finally scored. Get a point on the board here. We'll wait and see what happens. That's according to the Boston Bruins Twitter. Yeah. Yeah, Tampa scores. I can't even fucking tell who it is. I really don't give two shits. A lot of traffic in front of Tuukka Rask. I don't even know who the fuck this kid is. Stevens? Was he a fucking rookie? Shit gets a fucking lucky bounce in front. Like fucking bounces off of Tuukka Rask's fucking dong. Like that's a tough one for Tuukka. I don't really blame him. There's a lot of traffic in there. Different bounces, goes a different way. We'll see if the Bruins can respond to that. Take that 2-goal lead back. This is what you're looking at when you're going forward into the playoffs. You're looking probably gonna be. Like I said earlier, I don't think it's going to happen, but more than likely, honestly, you're probably going to get the Bruins, at least one Bruins-Tampa series this playoff season for the first time in a while. Should be really good. They're both two very good teams. Tampa really skilled offensively. Boston, I think, is a much more well-rounded team. On the back end specifically. Sweeney's done a really good job over the last few years, really kind of honing in on defensive players, as well as Bruce Cassidy coming in and putting together the best decor as possible. Speaking of the Boston Bruins decor, a couple guys I wanted to mention was John Moore and Steven Kampfer. They've been borderline non-existent this season. Getting like two longtime veterans in the league getting massively bounced out by young guys like Connor Clifton, Jeremy Lauzon, couple other guys that I mean, if you're a veteran defenseman in the league, you should not be getting bounced out by 20-year-olds. I'm sorry. Like, you should be fighting for that spot. If you're playing in Providence right now and you're like 30-something, just fucking retire at this point. We'll pay your salary. I don't care. Like, just fucking retire. Or ask for a trade. Because you're not doing the team any good. Yeah, you're a depth piece, but other than that, you're really not doing anything. As we get back to the game here, Bruins defensive face-off. Tampa wins it. Boston breaks out. Got a 2-on-2 here. Krejci and I can't tell who the other guy was, but nothing happened. Stopped by Vasilevsky, goes the other way as the Bruins move the puck up. I'm waiting to just absolutely fucking lose my mind right now. But that's generally what happens is, like, these types of games, they're just going to move your, they're just going to kind of, like, keep you isolated for that period. Like, you're all that pent-up energy, everything like that. Bruins have it at neutral ice right now. McAvoy dumping it down the ice. DeBrusque on the forecheck. moving forward. This week's been kind of a little lackluster in terms of hockey stories across the league, anything really special. So as of right now, we're just kind of following the game. I'm just coming up with bullshit right now as I see fit. We got a massive scrum in front of the net right now. Now behind the net of Tuca. You got Cernak and Sean Corrali over to the side. You have Matt Grzelcyk and looks like Paquette. You have Nordstrom and Nordstrom's just fucking hacking at this dude now. What is it, fucking George or something? Gord. Yanni Gord. Real good bout right now. Nordstrom's just fucking hacking at him. Nordstrom's got a right, another right, uppercut. Oh, that's fucking bullshit. Nordstrom, you gotta fucking stay on your feet, bud. Nordstrom just absolutely beat the fucking snot out of him right now. Looking forward, that's a good bout. You like to see a little more scrums from this Boston team. You really want to see more physicality in this. I mean, you had Corrali, Grzelcyk, Carlo, Nordstrom, Kuhlman. I think it's what the fuck's his name? Lidstrom, who sucks, by the way. Honestly, as a third line center, like fourth line center, you need to be better. You need to be more visible on the ice. So good for him in getting in that. Going forward, I mean that was a good kind of sequence into the third period, with 3.6 seconds left in the second period. Boston up 2-1. We'll take a short break. Maybe be back for the third. I'm Nick DeCristofaro, Hockey. 5 for Fightin, Hockey. All right, we're back from a brief hiatus of maybe about 20 minutes or so. Or I'm back at least. There's no one else with me. We're just going to follow the rest of the third period here. 17:49 left in the third period. Boston's still up 2-1 over Tampa. We're going to go forward, and I'm basically just going to kind of commentate without actually giving you any real actual content on who's handling the puck. Just making some comments about different play on either side. Boston ices it with 17:42 left, and then give or take another maybe 10 minutes or so afterwards, I'll give my closing thoughts. And when this goes up on YouTube, you can fucking shit on me for anything I say or whatever. I really don't give a fuck. I'm not going to be actually commenting on anything, so knock yourselves out. Our assistant to the producer, Matt Hamilton, is laughing his ass off right now. Secretly sitting over there. Doesn't actually want to sit down with me for any of these fucking podcasts because he doesn't know hockey. Fuck baseball. Baseball's a dying sport, man. I wanted to give a quick shout out to the boys I listen to every day, Spit and Chicklets. Great podcast Monday with Chris Pronger. Really good. If you haven't already, go out and follow them. Look them up on Apple Podcasts. They're absolutely fantastic if you're really into listening to some genuine hockey guys that really know the game, played the game in the NHL. Real short try in the front, kept in by Grizzlick up at the top. What the fuck? That was an awful breakout. Come on now. Good shot. Played with a high stick. No, Vasilevsky's mask gets taken off. There's stoppage in play right now. NBC Sports, NBCSN really giving some stats right now. The perfection line, Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron, and Pasta. 28 goals Marchand, 29 goals Bergeron, 47 for Pasta, 56 assists for Marchand, and 26 for Bergeron. And I believe earlier it was like 44 or 45 for Pasta. Didn't really get to see it on the stat line that they were showing on NBCSN here. Moving forward with, I know the Bruins schedule, we got, I believe, Florida Panthers on Thursday, and then Tampa comes back to TD Garden to play the Bruins again, and then we got Philadelphia next week at some point. Should be a good stretch going down here. Real good tests for the Bruins. Good, nice block shot at the top of the blue line in the Bruins defensive zone. Trying out for the fast break. See if it does anything, and it doesn't. Definitely go check us out. We're at Scumbags USA on Instagram. I believe Twitter, right, Scott? Yes. Yep. Scott says yes on Twitter. So definitely go check us out. You can find the podcast on there as well as on YouTube. Not on Facebook, or are we on Facebook? We are on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say fuck Facebook, but hey, why not?
All about the game.
We're just gonna go quickly see what see some quick tweets here. Ty Anderson at _Ty Anderson. Good stop by Tuukka Rask, point blank. Back to tweet by Ty Anderson at 98.5 The Sports Hub. He's a writer there. Also does the hockey show on the mornings with Ryan Johnson. Tweeted out Krejci, Nordstrom, both throwing hands in last week alone. Had 3 Bruins coverage on Kayson. He believes after a heavy hit in Edmonton a few weeks back, idea of team toughness got through to this team. Definitely check out Ty. He has some good articles out there weekly on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Real good guy, young guy. Real good stop by Tuukka Rask from a breakaway chance by was it Sorelli, it looks like. Yep. Real good stop by Tuukka, coming up clutch there on the breakaway. Bad defensive breakdown by the Boston Bruins, letting that feed through. I believe it was Chara and McAvoy. And Tampa goes for an offsides here. Can't handle the puck in the offensive zone for them. Pops outside the Bruins defensive zone. Comes out to the neutral zone. And I believe it was Bergeron that won the face-off. Or rather, yeah, Bergeron. Going forward, Tampa has a surge down low with the puck behind Tuukka to Tuukka's left. Deflected shot, misses wide. Boston's got to be a little bit more conservative here. They're really letting down their zone D play, which really sets them apart from a lot of teams right now. When you look at a lot of different teams, generally play a lot of hard man-to-man. And Boston has always been a good defensive team playing zone and not really bunching up high with their defensemen. Or rather having their forwards pop out high, trying to force the puck out, really keeping offensive players to the outside. Good block by Tuukka on a point-blank shot by Paquette. Oh, and I said Andre Paquette earlier. His name's Cedric. Do I really give a fuck? No. Other than that, I mean, going forward this week, you're really going to see a lot of teams coming out on top, really making surges going forward in the playoffs. We're going to take a quick look as it goes to timeout here for scores around the league. As you know, we have Boston up 2-1 with 12:43 left in the third. End of the second, Winnipeg's up 3-1 over the Buffalo Sabres. Devils at Golden Knights starting at 10 o'clock. I believe Toronto at San Jose starting at 10:30 rather. Montreal Canadiens coming up 6-2 over the Islanders. That's a big loss for the Islanders, especially after coming off a tough loss against the Bruins on Saturday 4-0. You're looking at 3-1 the final. St. Louis over the Rangers. 7-3 Pittsburgh over to the Ottawa Senators final. End of the second, 2-0 Wild over the Predators. Predators going to be on the power play when they come back in the third. Anaheim Ducks down by 1 to the Blackhawks. 9:36 left in the second. And Edmonton up by 1 over the Dallas Stars. 8:30 left in the second. And my phone's on 1%, so I'm going to shut it off. That has to be the stupidest fucking thing in the world. There's a fucking Verizon billboard outside Amalie Arena in Tampa. And it's just a picture of a fucking cloud with a lightning bolt. I mean, I get it, because it's the fucking Tampa Bay Lightning, but, like, come on. What does that have to do with fucking Verizon? Absolutely nothing. I mean, unless they want to say that their speed's like lightning fast. Mobile? No. Internet, cable, phone? Yeah. Verizon all day long. Shout out to Verizon. Tampa breaks out, dumps it down behind Rask. Tuukka comes out of the net, brings it back up, sends it around the boards. Boston gets it out of the zone. They really got to start making a push here. Bruins got to get another insurance goal here going forward with around, I believe, like 11 seconds left in the... Yeah, about 11 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third. Really got to play hard-nosed D. You fucking get the puck out of the zone. Carlo, what the flying tits was that? Let's go. All right, Bruins finally get it out of the zone. Corelli dumps it down so the Bruins can get a line change. They got to be a lot stronger along the boards going forward if they're going to really beat, in a 7-game series looking at Tampa. Good play by the Bruins, dumping it out of the zone. Getting back on side. Really good breakout. This is the thing that irks me about the Bruins is that they back off when the minute they drop the puck, they go back on defense. I mean, it's not a bad shot way off the post. That was a little close. It was very close. Grzelcyk breaks out, tosses it down the ice, gets it out of the zone. Boston goes for a brief line change. Tampa does the same. Boston flips it down into the zone. They have Ritchie in front of the net, attempting the forecheck here, see if they can do anything, and they don't. Char, can you fucking handle the puck? Jesus Christ. Holy shit, boys. What are you not? You're not on the fucking penalty kill here. Let's go. Go break out. Take it, McAvoy. Come on, bro. Good. Punch it back down. Don't back away. You can't be fucking dumping it down and then going for a fucking line change. Stick it out. Get on the forecheck and push the puck. As my, I wouldn't say good friend because I've never met him, but as everybody knows, Dave Portnoy, big guy on pucks in deep, pucks on net. If I believe that's a saying, it's true. And one of the things that the Bruins really don't do in any way, shape, or form. Their forecheck sucks. If they were harder on the forecheck, you're looking at a totally different team. But again, like I was saying earlier, they're more of a defensive team than anything else. Yeah, they're replaying that shot by Cirelli from the point. High off the top crossbar there. Real close. Totally beat Rask, but just hit the crossbar. Thankfully for Rask and the Bruins that it did not go in. And DeBrusk on the hot pursuit. Tampa brings it back into the defensive zone for the Bruins. Their offensive zone. Good scrum against the boards. DeBrusk really kind of trying to push it out. Fails. Way off shot by Sergachev. Really good deflection there. As the Bruins push it out of their defensive zone. McAvoy goes real hard into the boards there. Though couldn't really tell if he was slow to get up. It really went tough. They're really looking at the standings right now in the Eastern Conference. In the Atlantic, Boston with 94 points, Tampa 87, Toronto 78, Washington 86, Philadelphia 83, Pittsburgh 82 in the Metro, and then wild card Islanders and Columbus, like I said earlier, and then on the outside looking in, you have teams like Carolina, Montreal, and Florida. I don't really see many other teams trying to being really that close in there. Nordstrom really playing the body on a gets taken down on a slew foot, but it's a non-call. Nordstrom really slow moving around there. DeBrusque moving the puck up. One of the talks going into this game was whether or not DeBrusque being put on, or rather holding on that third line, and Bruce Cassidy keeping him on that third line while Richie and Case play on the left and right of Krejci, would kind of spark his instinct again, really moving his feet, well, getting him moving, shooting the puck a little bit more. And seems to have paid off just a couple games into that move there. As we go into timeout here, Boston's still up 2-1, 6:04 left in the third. One of the things we're going to see going down the stretch here is a lot of more chippiness between these real close games, or rather close teams to each other, like talking about specifically Boston, Tampa, like Pittsburgh, Philly, if they play each other. I don't know what their schedules are like. Any game like Washington, mainly any games where teams play in the division. So, for example, this is a big game for the Bruins if they can go up 9 points over Tampa. And also hold the regulation overtime wins column as well for the tiebreaker. If need be, for whatever reason, Boston and Tampa tie towards the end. That's one of the big factors, like the season series, everything like that. Who has a better regulation plus overtime win column? Actually, I think I'm gonna call it here and say that's it for episode 2 of Five For Fightin. Thanks as always to Scott Moore, our producer, and bystander Matt Hamilton, assistant to the producer. I'm Nick DeCristofaro. Hopefully we'll can watch this episode tomorrow, whatever. If you actually are watching, looking us up online. We'll be here hopefully next Tuesday around 8 o'clock, give or take. Bruins may or may not be playing. Actually, I'll check that right now if my phone doesn't want to die. We'll see what their schedule is like for next Tuesday. Yep, they will be playing next Tuesday against the Flyers at 7 o'clock. So hopefully we will be back here. I will be back here with my guys Scott Moore and Matt for episode 3 of Five For Fightin. Signing off, Nick DeCristofaro.